Before the body stirs, the soul has already traveled. It has walked through gardens of meaning, spoken with shadows of light, and touched the edge of a truth too vast for words. Between sleep and awakening lies a hidden gate, a place where the seen and unseen breathe together. Ibn Arabi taught that what we call reality is only one layer of the dream of God. So, what if your awakening each morning is not a return, but a crossing? Before dawn breaks, there is a silence older than sound. The air itself seems to remember something the world has forgotten, the first breath that called existence into being. In that sacred stillness, every leaf and grain of dust listens, waiting for the whisper that moves before speech. It is here the soul begins to stir, not from sleep, but from the dream of separation. The unseen does not shout. It reveals itself in pauses. Between the soft throb of the heart and the hush of the early air, a presence unfolds, delicate yet immense. It is not outside you, nor within you, but between both, as light between mirrors. When the mind quiets its noise, the hidden world leans closer, eager to be known. Each soul carries an echo of that ancient whisper. It is the memory of the moment when the divine said, "Times be asterisk," and the soul answered times, "Yes, asterisk." Even now, that dialogue continues beneath your thoughts. The dawn is not merely a change of light. It is a remembrance of that first affirmation, a renewal of the bond between the created and the creator. In the language of the unseen, every silence is a word, and every pause a verse. The dawn wind moves not to cool the earth, but to stir hearts asleep in forgetfulness. When it brushes your skin, it carries messages written in breath, words too subtle for the ear, yet perfectly understood by the soul. Before the body awakes, the soul walks freely through the gardens of meaning. It drinks from wells that have no water, and reads books whose pages are made of light. These are not symbols or metaphors to it. They are realities more solid than stone. When you open your eyes, you only see the shadow of what it has seen. The unseen world is not another place. It is this world unveiled. Each thing around you is wrapped in layers of meaning, folded like silk around a jewel. The dawn does not bring the sun, it unwraps the world so the hidden can shine again. The wise do not seek new lands, they seek new sight. There is a sound that travels before light, a soft pulse that weaves through every soul. Those who wake before dawn can hear it faintly, like a harp playing beneath the heart. Ibn Arabi said, "The universe itself is God's breath made visible." To listen, then, is to return to the breath before it becomes sound. In this sacred hour, the veil thins. The angels move close, recording not your words but your intentions. Every thought becomes a fragrance in the unseen. Some rise like incense toward the beloved. Others fall heavy with forgetfulness. What you think at this hour becomes the seed of your day. The whisper before dawn carries no command, only invitation. It calls you to remember the life beneath your life, the stillness beneath your movement. When you answer, even silently, the whole cosmos bends to listen. The response is not in speech, but in alignment, a heart turned wholly toward its source. Those who rise in these hours touch the border of timelessness. The ticking of the clock fades. What remains is a rhythm that was never born and never ends. In that rhythm, the soul learns again what it has always known, that every breath belongs to God, and every awakening is His mercy taking form. When you listen deeply, you begin to sense the unseen as warmth, not vision. It presses gently against your awareness like light through closed eyes. There is no effort here, only surrender. The unseen does not reveal itself to those who demand. It opens to those who wait, as the dawn opens to those who trust the dark. Each whisper is a teaching disguised as tenderness. It does not instruct with rules, but with presence. It reminds you that the universe is not made of things, but of relationships. Each moment, a conversation between the visible and the invisible. To hear is to participate in creation itself. When the first ray of sun touches the horizon, the unseen withdraws like a tide, leaving behind traces of its perfume. Most forget what they felt. The rush of the day washes it away. But the awakened one carries that fragrance in his breath. His words soften hearts because they are warmed by that dawn fire. The unseen speaks not once but continuously. It is the rhythm behind the heartbeat, the intelligence inside the atom, the secret within longing. Every desire, every sorrow, every moment of awe is the echo of that first whisper. Asterisk. Come closer. Asterisk. Those who hear it become pilgrims of the heart. And so, before every sunrise, the soul stands again at the threshold. The world sleeps, but the unseen stirs the air with its message. Asterisk. Return to the one who dreamed you into being. Asterisk. If you listen with your heart, you will feel the answer rise within, not in words, but in light. That is when the soul wakes before the body. The soul does not rest when the body sleeps. It travels through the delicate corridors of the unseen. While the limbs lie still and the eyes close to the world, the spirit slips into realms where form melts into meaning. In that secret passage, time has no authority, and memory dissolves into light. The journey begins in silence, a return to the place where thought has not yet been born, where being itself is fluid and luminous. In the shadow of sleep, the soul leaves the illusion of boundaries. It remembers its origin not as a story, but as a vibration of endless presence. It drifts beyond the veil of the senses, guided by the pulse of divine remembrance that never ceases. What seems like dreams to the waking mind are, in truth, reflections of the soul's encounters with realities that language cannot contain. As it moves deeper, the soul meets mirrors of its own nature. Some are bright, filled with the fragrance of mercy and beauty. Others are dark, heavy with unhealed echoes of the self. Each reflection is not punishment or reward, but teaching a reminder that all light and shadow within belong to one divine source. The soul learns that even darkness is a kind of guidance, a whisper of God wearing the veil of absence. The journey through sleep is not an escape, but a return. The soul drinks from streams that flow from beyond the world, tasting the sweetness of divine unity. It remembers how it once knew without learning, how it loved without seeking, how it existed without needing a name. In that remembrance lies healing, for to recall one's divine origin is to awaken from the great forgetfulness. When the soul passes through the threshold of dreams, it enters a realm shaped not by matter, but by intention. Here, thoughts are substance, and emotions are color. The pure-hearted travel easily, their path lit by remembrance. But the distracted wander through mist, chasing reflections that dissolve as they touch them. In this world, clarity is not found through effort, but through surrender. Sometimes, the soul encounters those it has loved in other worlds, or those it has yet to meet in this one. These meetings are not fantasy, but resonance, the gathering of spirits beyond the chain of time. Words are not spoken there, yet everything is understood. For in that space, communication is light, touching light. What is known is not thought, but recognition. The shadow of sleep reveals not darkness, but depth. What the mind calls night is merely the turning of the inner sun inward. In this hidden luminosity, the soul sees the architecture of existence, the way mercy weaves through judgment, and how every fragment longs for wholeness. It sees that even the smallest act of awareness can open vast doors in the unseen. When fear enters the dream, it too serves a purpose. The terrifying visions that rise in the dark are not enemies. They are masks of the self calling to be embraced. Ibn Arabi said that God appears in every form, even the forms that frighten us, for there is no place where the divine is not. To face fear in the dream is to meet God in disguise. The soul often returns carrying symbols, a key, a light, a sound, a face. These are not random, they are messages wrapped in imagery. To decode them is not the task of intellect but of intuition. When the heart is polished by remembrance, it can read these signs as easily as the eye reads words. Each symbol says only one thing: know where you come from, and you will know where you are going. In its journey, the soul witnesses how creation unfolds through breath. It hears the rhythm of existence, expansion and return, inhale and exhale, manifestation and concealment. This breathing of the divine sustains all worlds. To sleep deeply is to rest upon that breath, to be rocked in the cradle of mercy that never ceases. There are souls who, in the shadow of sleep, awaken within the dream. They realize they are dreaming, yet remain calm, watching the fabric of reality shimmer like a veil. These are the early steps of spiritual lucidity, the awareness that all worlds, waking and sleeping alike, are reflections of a single source. The true seeker learns to wake not from dreams, but within them. The soul's journey is both infinite and intimate. Though it travels through vast realms, it never truly leaves the presence of its Lord. Every motion, every vision, every silence is contained within that singular reality. The traveler and the destination are not two. The journey exists only so that love may experience its own longing. When the soul begins to return, the echoes of those unseen realms still cling to it. You might wake with a sense of vastness you cannot name, or with tears whose source you do not recall. These are traces of the places your spirit has walked. The day may blur them, but deep inside, the fragrance remains. It is a memory of having touched the eternal. As the body wakes, the soul gathers its luminous threads and folds them gently back into the heart. The gate closes, but not completely. A faint opening remains for those who know how to listen. In moments of stillness during prayer, or in a sigh of gratitude, that doorway flickers open again, reminding you that sleep and wakefulness are merely different shades of the same light. Thus, every night becomes a pilgrimage, and every dream a teacher. The soul journeys through the shadow, not to escape the world, but to illuminate it. For what it learns in silence, it brings back in love. And when dawn comes, those who listen can still hear the faint echo of that sacred voyage, the murmur of the unseen saying, "You were never apart from me." When the final dream begins to fade, there comes a moment when the soul stands between two silences. The first is the silence of sleep, the second, the silence of truth. In that breathless instant, the dream dissolves, but awakening has not yet arrived. This is the threshold of pure awareness, where form no longer defines being, and the soul tastes the stillness that gave birth to all motion. Beyond the last dream, time loosens its grip. There is no before or after, only a vast unfolding that happens all at once. The soul perceives existence not as a series of moments, but as a single, continuous act of divine imagination. In this clarity, the illusions of distance and direction vanish. The seeker realizes that awareness is not something one possesses, it is what one is. The mind, which has always tried to understand, grows quiet here. Its language fails before the expanse of presence. For pure awareness cannot be described, only entered. It is not a thought, nor a state, but the root from which all states arise. Even saying, "I am aware," is already a shadow, for awareness has no subject, it simply shines. Those who reach this realm through deep surrender find themselves suspended in luminous stillness. There is no movement, yet everything flows. There is no sound, yet everything sings. Ibn Arabi called this the place where the divine witnesses himself through the mirror of creation. The soul becomes both mirror and reflection, seeing itself as the light by which all seeing happens. Here, the seeker understands that dreams and waking life are made of the same essence waves upon the same sea. The difference is only in density. The dream is fluid light, the waking world is condensed light. Beyond both lies the ocean itself, silent and infinite, untouched by wave or wind. To awaken beyond the dream is to sink into that ocean willingly. The realm of pure awareness is not reached through effort. It opens when effort itself is exhausted. The pilgrim who has struggled through visions, prayers, and veils finally kneels, not out of weariness, but out of recognition that nothing can be attained because nothing was ever lost. The opening is grace, not conquest. Awareness is not found, it is remembered. In this vastness, individuality appears like a ripple in sunlight, briefly shimmering before returning to its source. The soul sees that identity is a garment woven for experience, not for eternity. To cling to it is to remain in the last dream. To release it is to awaken into what has always been awake. What dies here is not life, but illusion. The light of pure awareness has no center. It fills everything equally, without preference or separation. It looks through every eye, breathes through every creature, and moves through every pulse of creation. When one recognizes this, compassion arises naturally. For how could you harm another when you see only yourself shining through them? At this depth, even the word God begins to dissolve. Not because the divine disappears, but because language is too small to hold what is infinite. The heart speaks instead through awe, through tears, through silence that trembles with love. Worship becomes not an act, but a condition of being. Every breath becomes remembrance. The seeker who abides here does not escape the world. He returns to it renewed. He walks among forms, but sees only essence. Every sound becomes the echo of the one voice. Every face, a reflection of the same light. He no longer searches for signs. The entire universe has become a sign too vast to read. In the realm of pure awareness, death loses its meaning. The veil of mortality is seen for what it is, a doorway, not an ending. Life and death flow into each other like night and dawn, both serving the same endless rhythm of revelation. The soul understands that there was never birth and never extinction, only the play of appearance. Sometimes the soul trembles here, for the immensity of unity feels like annihilation. But this is the final misunderstanding. What perishes is not the self, but the illusion of being apart. The lover dissolves into the beloved, yet nothing is lost. The ocean does not destroy the drop, it fulfills it. This is the mystery of union that words cannot touch. When awareness is pure, perception becomes effortless. Seeing and being are one act. The stars no longer hang in the sky, they burn within the heart. Every instant is creation happening anew, every glance an unveiling of God's endless artistry. The soul moves through the world like wind, through an open field invisible, yet alive in everything it touches. The soul learns to rest in this awareness even while awake. The market, the prayer mat, the silence of night, all are the same sanctuary. There is no division between the sacred and the ordinary. The world does not disappear. It becomes transparent. Through it, the divine gazes at himself, and the soul smiles, knowing the secret at last. Beyond the last dream lies no destination, only return, a return, so complete it feels like never having left. Awareness opens and closes like a divine breath, and the soul moves within it like fragrance in air. To awaken here is to realize that the journey was never toward God, but within Him. The traveler, the path, and the goal were always the same light. When you drift into the ocean of dreams, something within you stays awake. It watches quietly as your thoughts unravel, as the world you build behind closed eyes takes shape. This is the hidden listener, the witness that never sleeps. It observes your joy and fear with equal stillness, like the moon reflecting every wave but touched by none. While the dream changes, the listener remains, vast and unmoving. The hidden listener does not belong to the body or the mind. It existed before you were born and will remain long after your final breath. The body sleeps, the mind imagines, but this presence simply times is asterisk. It is the divine awareness. Ibn Arabi spoke of the eye by which God looks through you. It hears every whisper of your soul, even the ones you never speak. In the theater of dreams, you are both actor and audience. Yet behind both stands the witness, a silent awareness, untouched by the story. It does not interfere, only reflects. Every image, every emotion, every shifting scene arises and dissolves within its gaze. To awaken to it is to realize that the dream was never separate from the dreamer. This listener is hidden because you rarely look for it. You search for meaning in symbols, faces, and voices, but the true meaning lies in the one who perceives them. It is not found by chasing dreams, but by turning inward, toward the space from which all dreams emerge. That still center is the birthplace of every vision, both sleeping and waking. When fear rises in a nightmare, it too unfolds before the listener. The fear feels real, but the witness remains untouched. Like the sun watching a storm on the horizon, it shines through all shadows. Ibn Arabi would say that the divine never hides, it is our attention that turns away. The listener's silence is not absence, but mercy, allowing us to rediscover it through experience. Sometimes, within a dream, you suddenly realize you are dreaming. That flash of lucidity is the whisper of the hidden listener. It pulls you gently toward itself, reminding you that awareness exists even beyond the mind's creations. In that instant, you stand between worlds, no longer lost in illusion, yet not fully awake. You glimpse the eternal watcher behind all appearances. The hidden listener is not bound by language. It speaks through intuition, through the subtle knowing that dawns without words. You may awaken from a dream with a strange calm, or with tears whose cause you cannot name. These are its messages, written in feeling rather than sound. It teaches not through instruction, but through presence. Even in waking life, the listener remains. It watches your actions, your thoughts, your endless inner dialogues, yet it never judges. It is as close to you as your breath, yet you cannot grasp it. It is the same awareness that observed your dreams. Only now, it witnesses your waking dream. To live in remembrance of this is to live consciously within the gaze of the divine. Ibn Arabi spoke of the heart as the meeting place of all worlds, the visible and the unseen, the dream and the real. The hidden listener dwells there, at that intersection. When the heart is purified, you begin to hear its quiet speech, a language of light that translates eternity into the moment. Every heartbeat becomes an echo of divine attention. In dreams, when you meet people or places that feel familiar yet unknown, it is the listener showing you fragments of your own being. Every face is a reflection, every landscape a metaphor for your inner world. The listener arranges these symbols like a poet, arranging verses not to confuse you, but to remind you of what you already know beneath forgetting. When you awaken, you often think the dream has ended, but to the hidden listener, nothing ends. The dream of night becomes the dream of day. Events, emotions, and encounters continue to flow, merely changing their texture. The one who listens through all of it remains the same. Awareness does not sleep, only perception changes its rhythm. To notice the listener while you dream is the beginning of spiritual awakening. It means you are no longer fully consumed by the image. You are starting to remember the light that projects it. In this remembrance lies liberation, for the witness cannot be bound by what it observes. To see yourself as that awareness is to step beyond fear and desire alike. The hidden listener has no face, yet it looks through every form. It has no voice, yet every song arises from its silence. It is the essence of perception, the unseen thread connecting all moments. To dwell in its presence is to know that all experience, however fleeting, serves a single purpose: to reveal the reality that never moves. In the depths of sleep, when even dreams fall away, only the listener remains. This is the purest awareness, the state Ibn Arabi described as the night of unity. There, you are neither dreamer nor witness, you are what both emerge from. The soul rests in its origin, cradled by the gaze of the one who never sleeps. Sometimes, upon waking, you may feel a serenity too delicate to describe. That stillness is the residue of the listener's touch, a reminder that you are seen completely and lovingly at all times. Carrying that awareness into the day transforms ordinary sight into worship. The world becomes alive, shimmering with the quiet attention of the unseen. The hidden listener never commands, it simply reveals. When you align with it, your choices begin to flow from clarity rather than compulsion. You act, but the sense of I in the action softens. You speak, but it feels as though the words move through you, not from you. This is how awareness lives, through form without being confined by it. Every mystic eventually realizes that prayer itself is the soul listening to the listener. The words we speak rise like waves, but the answer is already present in the silence beneath them. The act of listening becomes the communion. In that silence, longing and fulfillment merge into one. The seeker disappears, leaving only hearing itself. Even death, which frightens the waking mind, is but another shift in listening. The body returns to earth. The dreams of time dissolve, yet awareness continues, vast, radiant, unbroken. The hidden listener that watched you dream will watch you awaken into eternity. Nothing is lost, only veils are lifted. To recognize the hidden listener is to rediscover your true nature. You are not the dream, not even the dreamer. You are the listening itself, endless and awake. The worlds rise and fall within your gaze like reflections on water. When you finally rest in that realization, all dreams become one song, and the listener and the listened are found to be the same. There is a seeing that begins when the eyes close, a light that does not depend on form or distance. This is the vision of the awakened heart. It perceives not through separation, but through unity. When the senses fall silent, the heart opens its own sight, and what it beholds is not color or shape, but presence. Ibn Arabi said, asterisk, the heart has two eyes. One looks toward creation, the other toward the Creator. Asterisk, when both open together, the world is transfigured. Light without eyes does not travel. It times as asterisk. It does not strike objects. It reveals essence. The heart that awakens to this light begins to see everything as transparent, each thing a veil woven from divine radiance. In that seeing, a stone is no longer a stone, nor a face merely flesh. All become signs through which the infinite contemplates itself. To live in this awareness is to walk in a world made of meaning. When this inner vision stirs, the outer world grows quiet. The eyes no longer chase appearances. They rest, allowing the unseen to shine through the seen. The heart perceives in stillness, sensing the pulse of eternity behind every fleeting moment. This is not imagination, it is remembrance. The light the heart perceives is the same light from which creation was born. In the beginning, God said, times be asterisk, and light became the first witness. But this light did not vanish into stars. It settled also within every soul as a spark of divine perception. The awakened heart recognizes that spark, not as something it owns, but as what it truly is. The one who sees with this light does not claim vision. He becomes vision itself. To see with the heart is to see with love. This vision does not analyze, it embraces. It does not measure, for its measure is mercy. The awakened one looks upon the world not for what it appears to be, but for what it reveals of the beloved. Each encounter becomes a mirror, reflecting an aspect of the one light. There is no judgment here, only recognition. When the heart first awakens, the light can feel overwhelming. The soul trembles before the vastness it perceives, like a moth before the sun. But as surrender deepens, the burning becomes sweetness. What was once blinding becomes clarifying. The heart learns that pain too is a form of illumination fire that purifies until nothing remains but radiance. Light without eyes moves through silence. It cannot be commanded or sought through effort. It appears when all seeking has dissolved, when the self's noise has faded into stillness. Then, what was always present reveals itself. The mystics call this time's basira, time's inner sight, where perception no longer depends on the senses, but arises from the heart's unity with truth. In this seeing, darkness itself becomes luminous. The heart discovers that what it once called shadow is merely light, slowed down, hidden within form. Even sorrow gleams with secret tenderness. For every loss becomes an opening through which light enters more deeply. The awakened heart sees no opposition between night and day. Both are faces of the same radiance. The prophets and saints saw with this light. They looked at a barren desert and saw the gardens of the unseen. They gazed upon the poor, the broken, the lost, and saw the beloved disguised in longing. Their eyes appeared ordinary, but their hearts saw eternity shimmering through every instant. Such vision transforms not the world, but the one who beholds it. When the heart sees, it does not divide. The dualities of good and evil, beauty and ugliness, pleasure and pain, dissolve into wholeness. Everything becomes a verse in the endless revelation of the divine. To reject nothing is to live in harmony with what is, for the light that illumines one thing illumines all. In that realization, the heart becomes a sanctuary of peace. There are moments when the light within expands beyond the body. The boundaries of self melt away, and awareness floods outward like dawn over the sea. The awakened one feels every leaf, every breath, every creature vibrating in the same luminous field. This is not metaphor, but direct knowing of vision beyond thought, where all things are seen as extensions of divine consciousness. Light without eyes does not fade. Even when the outer world grows dark, even when grief blinds the senses, it continues to glow softly within the soul. It is the eternal lamp the Quran speaks of, light upon light. When faith wavers, this light remains steady, reminding the heart that guidance is not given once but continuously. Sometimes, the heart's vision opens suddenly, like lightning across the inner sky. In that instant, lifetimes of ignorance are illuminated. The seeker glimpses the unity beneath all contradictions and weeps not from sorrow, but from recognition. Yet the true transformation lies not in the flash, but in learning to live by that light afterward. The awakened heart does not seek to explain what it sees. It understands that mystery is not to be solved, but revered. Every revelation deepens wonder rather than ending it. To see with light without eyes is to stand at the edge of infinity, forever gazing into the face of the unknown and finding it endlessly familiar. This inner vision transforms love itself. It no longer clings, no longer demands. It becomes a flow, a giving without calculation. The lover sees the beloved in all forms, knowing each meeting and parting as divine choreography. To love from the awakened heart is to love as God loves, without condition, without end. Those who walk with this light carry serenity that words cannot touch. Their presence soothes hearts, not because they try, but because peace radiates through them like fragrance from a flower. They do not preach, they remind. Their gaze alone becomes a prayer, drawing others toward their own hidden light. In the stillness of contemplation, the awakened heart sees the universe breathing. Every moment expands and contracts in the rhythm of divine remembrance. The light within recognizes the light without, and the illusion of separation fades like mist in sunrise. Awareness becomes worship, effortless, wordless, complete. Even the distinction between seer and seen dissolves. The heart recognizes that what it witnesses is not outside itself. The divine does not dwell elsewhere. It shines as the very act of seeing. The veil of perception falls, and only light remains, perceiving itself through countless forms. When such vision ripens, life itself becomes revelation. Every breath is a verse, every silence a prayer. The awakened heart no longer asks for proof, for it sees proof in all directions. It lives as a lamp in the night, not to boast of its light, but to remind others of the sun within their own souls. Light without eyes is not a power to gain, but a truth to uncover. It is the remembrance that seeing is not what the eyes do, but what the heart times is asterisk. When the heart awakens fully, the whole world becomes luminous. Even darkness glows with divine intimacy. And in that eternal dawn, the seer and the seen merge into one endless light. Before creation took form, there was breath, a silent exhalation of the infinite into being. That first divine breath opened the door between nothingness and existence. It carried light, sound, and the possibility of awareness itself. Every soul still bears its echo, inhaling and exhaling in rhythm with the cosmos. To breathe, then, is to remember that we live within God's first sigh, a bridge forever connecting the seen and the unseen. Each breath you take is a secret conversation with the divine. You draw in the unseen and give back form. You receive life and return surrender. This rhythm is not mere biology. It is the pulse of creation repeating through you. When the mystic becomes conscious of this, breath transforms from instinct into worship. Every inhalation becomes remembrance. Every exhalation, a quiet act of letting go. The breath is the most faithful companion of the soul. It follows you through joy and grief, through dreams and silence, yet few ever listen to it. Hidden within its rise and fall is the entire story of existence, manifestation and return, expansion and union. The one who learns to dwell in that sacred rhythm begins to see how breath weaves the worlds together, like threads of light through shadow. When you breathe deeply in awareness, the boundaries between inside and outside begin to dissolve. The air you take in has touched mountains, oceans, stars. It has moved through countless beings, carrying whispers of creation's endless journey. In that recognition, you realize that there is no your breath. There is only the breath. The universe inhales and exhales through you. Ibn Arabi said that the cosmos itself is the breath of the All-Merciful. Through this breath, divine names take shape as creation. Each atom vibrates with the sound of that mercy, repeating who, he, the eternal remembrance that sustains being. When you attune your own breathing to this remembrance, you begin to harmonize with the hidden rhythm of God's speech. Breath opens the door between worlds because it exists in both. It belongs to spirit, yet moves through flesh. With every inhalation, the unseen enters you. With every exhalation, you give form to what is hidden. Between these two lies the threshold of awareness, the space where the soul meets the body, and the eternal meets the moment. In times of silence, if you listen closely, you may hear the subtle hum beneath your breathing. That vibration is older than time, the resonance of divine life moving through matter. The mystic who listens to it enters a state beyond thought, not dreaming, not waking, but luminous awareness. There, the breath itself becomes a prayer without words. Every prophet was taught the secret of the breath. Moses met the divine in the fire that did not burn the fire of the living breath. Jesus breathed life into clay birds, showing that the soul's exhalation carries the spark of creation. Muhammad's revelation began in the cave with a single command: read, breathe, in the name of your Lord who created. Breath is revelation, disguised as necessity. When fear arises, the breath shortens. When love expands, it deepens. Thus, breath mirrors the state of the soul. The awakened one uses this knowledge not to control, but to align, allowing breath to lead the way home. In surrendering to its rhythm, one learns the art of divine trust, letting each inhalation be faith and each exhalation be release. Between two breaths lies a mystery. In that infinitesimal pause, creation dissolves and is reborn. The mystics say that in that stillness, the soul returns momentarily to its origin, a spark rejoining the sun. If one learns to dwell in that pause, awareness opens into vastness. You are no longer the breather, but the breath itself. Breath teaches humility. You cannot hold it, no matter how you try. To cling is to suffocate. To release is to live. Through this simple truth, the divine teaches you that life itself is not possession, but participation. What you call my life is merely God's breath moving through the instrument of your being. To understand this is to dissolve into gratitude. The saints breathe differently. Their inhalations draw from the unseen. Their exhalations bless the world. They do not breathe for themselves, but for all creation. Each breath becomes an act of mercy, invisible, yet transformative. To sit near such a one is to feel your own breath slow and deepen, as though the world itself were remembering how to rest in God. In the realm between sleep and waking, the breath guides the soul across the threshold. It is the final thread that connects you to the body when you dream. And when the last breath leaves, that thread releases, and the soul continues into the vastness from which it came. Death, then, is not ending, but expansion, the breath returning to its source. Breath also reveals intention. A restless breath betrays resistance. A calm breath signals surrender. The mystic learns to read his own breath as scripture, each rise and fall a verse from the divine. To breathe consciously is to live consciously. For awareness of breath brings awareness of being, and being aware of being is the beginning of union. The door between worlds opens not with effort, but with gentleness. When the heart softens and the breath slows, perception widens. You begin to sense layers of reality, interwoven like fragrances in air. Dreams, thoughts, and spirit blend seamlessly. The more you rest in the breath, the thinner the veil becomes, until the unseen feels nearer than your own pulse. Sometimes, in deep stillness, the breath stops altogether, not in death, but in pure presence. The body remains alive, yet utterly unmoving. In that silence, awareness stands naked before the infinite. There is no inhalation, no exhalation, only being breathed by existence itself. The mystics call this the breathless breath, the moment when the door between worlds stands fully open. Breath carries memory. Every inhalation draws in not only air, but impressions, emotions, and echoes of the soul's journey. Every exhalation releases what no longer belongs to you. To breathe with awareness is to cleanse the heart continually. It is the most subtle form of repentance, a washing of the inner mirror through rhythm and surrender. Even when words fail, breath remains prayer. When the lips cannot form praise, the lungs still chant the rhythm of gratitude. The seeker who remembers this finds that devotion is never absent. It merely changes its form. The breath becomes the rosary of the heart, counting endless repetitions of love. As the mystic deepens in remembrance, he feels the universe breathing with him. The stars inhale light, the oceans exhale mist, the earth itself pulses beneath his feet. Every motion becomes a sign of that one living breath. He no longer feels separate from it, he times it. A single exhalation in the eternal song of being. And when he finally exhales for the last time, there is no fear, only recognition. The breath that opened the door between worlds calls him home. What leaves the body is not life departing, but light returning. The door does not close behind him, it opens endlessly, for the breath that began creation never ends. It continues, whispering across eternity, *B*. All creation unfolds within a single dream, the dream of the divine. To awaken within it is not to escape, but to remember. The soul begins to see that every star, every breath, every sorrow is woven into the fabric of one vast imagination. Ibn Arabi said the universe is God contemplating himself through infinite forms. The one who awakens within this dream recognizes life as a mirror reflecting the eternal gaze. The divine dream is not illusion, it is revelation in disguise. Every image that appears before the soul is a verse from the unending scripture of being. The sleeper mistakes it for chaos, but the awakened one reads it as poetry written in the language of light. The purpose of awakening is not to reject the dream, but to see through it, to realize that even the dreamer and the dream are one. When the soul begins to stir from its forgetfulness, the world changes without changing. The same mountains, the same faces remain, yet everything glows with a subtle awareness, as though seen from within rather than from without. It is then the seeker understands that awakening does not mean leaving the world, but perceiving it as sacred. Existence itself becomes prayer. The first sign of this awakening is awe, the sudden knowing that nothing is ordinary. Even a drop of rain carries the reflection of infinity. The awakened heart sees unity shining through multiplicity, as sunlight through stained glass. Every color, every form, every motion reveals an aspect of the one who dreams it all. To live in this awareness is to walk in constant remembrance. The soul that awakens within the dream does not boast of knowledge. It knows that it has never truly been asleep, only veiled by layers of perception. The awakening is simply the removal of those veils. What it finds beneath them is not something new, but the remembrance of what it has always been, an echo of divine consciousness, wrapped in the tenderness of form. In the divine dream, every meeting has meaning. Every person you encounter is a messenger wearing a familiar face. The lover, the enemy, the stranger, all are reflections placed before you to teach love in its endless shapes. The awakened soul no longer asks, "Why has this come to me?" but rather, "What does the beloved wish me to see through this?" The dream becomes lucid when love replaces fear. The awakened soul ceases to fight the shifting scenes and learns to flow with them, knowing that the dreamer guides every current. This surrender is not weakness but clarity. It is the realization that your will was never separate from the divine will. You were simply dreaming of control. In this awareness, even pain becomes sacred. Suffering, once seen as punishment, is now understood as refinement. Fire does not destroy gold, it purifies it. Likewise, the trials within the dream burn away forgetfulness until only essence remains. The awakened one thanks the fire, for through it, the heart becomes transparent to the light that dreamed it into being. The awakened soul learns to live with both feet in two worlds, one in form, the other in essence. It laughs and weeps, prays and acts. Yet within all these movements remains anchored in stillness. Nothing outward defines its peace anymore. The marketplace and the monastery become one field of worship. The soul moves through the dream, but no longer belongs to sleep. Ibn Arabi taught that awakening within the divine dream is to become conscious of God, dreaming himself as you. You are not outside his vision, you are its expression. Every thought, every act, every breath is the beloved knowing himself through you. To see this is to awaken into intimacy beyond description, the recognition that your very existence is his remembrance of love. In this state, even death loses its meaning. The soul understands that death is simply the dreamer, changing the scenery, a shift in the fabric of perception. What the world calls endings are merely awakenings into subtler realms of the same dream. Life continues endlessly, rippling through dimensions of divine awareness, each unveiling a deeper mercy. The awakened soul no longer prays times for time's God, but times as time's God's own yearning to know himself. The prayer becomes circular, the seeker calls, and the one answers through the same mouth. The act of devotion becomes a mirror, not of distance, but of reflection. This is the mystery of unity. The dreamer who prays and the dreamed who listens are one sound in different tones. As awakening deepens, the illusion of progress fades. The soul sees that it never traveled anywhere, it only unfolded into itself. The return it longed for was never a journey across distance, but across awareness. The path home leads not forward but inward, into the still center of being, where the divine rests as your own heart. The dream does not vanish after awakening. It becomes luminous. Every movement of time becomes a gesture of the timeless. The waves of destiny rise and fall, yet the awakened one remains rooted in the ocean beneath. In laughter, in silence, in labor, in love, everything becomes remembrance. The ordinary glows with eternity. Those who awaken within the divine dream become gentle. They speak softly because they know they are speaking within the mind of God. They act with care, knowing that every gesture ripples through the fabric of being. Their kindness is not morality. It is awareness that there is only one self wearing countless faces. Compassion becomes the natural fragrance of understanding. Sometimes awakening brings solitude. The soul feels both vast and alone, standing at the edge of the infinite. Yet this solitude is not emptiness, it is fullness beyond measure. In that silence, the soul realizes that love never needed another to exist. The lover and the beloved were always one heartbeat apart, pulsing in eternal rhythm. The awakened one learns to rest in mystery. Questions lose their urgency because every moment becomes its own answer. The need to define truth dissolves, replaced by the joy of beholding it everywhere. Certainty turns to wonder. Belief transforms into direct knowing. In this, faith becomes not hope for what is unseen, but intimacy with what has always been. To awaken within the divine dream is to reclaim innocence. The world no longer feels hostile but alive with divine play. Even chaos is seen as harmony misunderstood. The heart dances again, childlike yet wise, seeing miracles in dust and revelation in laughter. Creation becomes not a riddle to solve, but a poem to live. In the deepest awakening, the soul surrenders even the idea of awakening. There is no longer a dreamer or a dream, no seeker or goal, only the vast presence of being aware of itself. The wave recognizes it was never apart from the sea. The return is not a movement backward, but a dissolution into the endless now of divine awareness. And so, the soul's true return is not departure, but recognition. It opens its eyes within the divine dream and whispers, "I was home all along." In that moment, the veil of separation falls completely. Every breath, every motion, every silence becomes the pulse of the beloved. The dream continues radiant, endless, but now the dreamer is awake. When the veil of sleep thins and the eyes of the heart open, the soul no longer seeks escape, it learns to rest within the endless dream of God. The awakened one walks quietly through the world, not as a traveler reaching an end, but as a witness of the beginning, hidden in every breath. The universe becomes translucent, every sound a verse of the unseen, every silence a doorway to the real. The return is not a journey backward, but a deep inhalation into the heart of existence itself. You were never exiled, you only forgot where you stood. Now, remembrance dawns like light through mist, revealing that the beloved was never elsewhere. The beloved was the breath inside your breath, the stillness beneath your longing. To awaken within the divine dream is to love creation as God loves it endlessly, without condition or fear. It is to see holiness in the ordinary, to touch the infinite in the fleeting, and to find eternity woven through the smallest sigh. In that vision, life ceases to be a mystery to solve and becomes a tenderness to behold. And when you truly awaken, there is no announcement, no lightning, no shattering sound, only a quiet recognition, like dawn arriving without effort. You realize that the dream was sacred all along, that every joy and every ache was a language the beloved used to call you home. The soul bows, not in farewell, but in wonder, for what it sought has always been awake within it. So breathe softly and live as one who has remembered. Let your eyes rest gently upon the world, knowing you are looking into the mirror of the divine. The dream continues, but now it glows with awareness. You are no longer lost in it. You are part of its awakening. And that, beloved soul, is the true return.